Supposed to be fun. It's supposed to feel good to you. It's supposed to feel really, really good to you. And the vibrational being that you are, you enter in every moment another segment and another segment and another segment and another segment with all new opportunities. But you know what each segment has in common? There's a vibrational field that the law of attraction is all about. And you walk into each segment with your vibrating beingness, with your point of attraction, and the law of attraction matches you up. Esther and a bunch of friends and family went to Greece last month, and for the first time, Esther had a baggage tracker in her bag. Her son bought them for the group that were flying together, and Esther tossed them into her 2 bags, and off they went. And it was so fun. She was fascinated because at nearly every moment, she knew where her bag was. And the reason is because these little things, they looked like little buttons. These little things were transmitting a signal, and cell phones all over the world were picking up on them and feeding it back to a central source that was sending an in-the-moment information to Esther's phone. It was the best thing. And when they got there, Esther and her daughter and her son and her son's friend, when they got there, one of the 7 bags didn't make the last flight. The airline didn't know it, but Esther did. And it caught up the next day. And then on another leg, another bag didn't make it, but they knew where it was. And then Esther got thinking about this. She thought, oh man, I like thinking about this because we are, all of us, Esther said to no one who cared or was listening, we're like these little buttons, and they looked at her like, have you eaten today? Transmitting a signal that is being matched up by something so much more sophisticated and efficient than this baggage tracking system. The law of attraction is matching the combination of what you've got going on with everybody around you. It's matching up your memories. Boom. Having a bad moment, suddenly you remember every bad moment you've ever had. This food doesn't taste good. Suddenly you remember all the food that didn't taste good and where you got it. The law of attraction is so precise and so responsive to the vibrational output that you've got going on that there is a way for you to live more happily ever after more of the time. More happily now, more happily now, more happily now, more happily now. And it isn't controlling what somebody else did with your bag. It isn't controlling how somebody else behaves to which you are having a knee-jerk response. It's about you deciding that since you're transmitting and what you are transmitting is precisely coming back to you in all kinds of variable combinations of what you call life experience, what you call random often, and what you call chance often, and what you call somebody else is doing often. Stuff's coming back to you with precision on what you're outputting. And when you get that, when you understand that, then it makes you want to output on purpose. So Esther was reaching for some ways. She's receiving these blocks of thought from us, and ideas are occurring to her of a way to explain it. And she began thinking about just walking around with this bag of marbles that she has put there. And each marble is like one of those tracking devices that's bringing stuff back to her. And she thought about wanting to put a whole lot of lovely things in that bag, since it's all coming back to her. That person was snarky. Uh-oh. Now, one little snarky marble is not a problem. But if you are on a snarky search, have some of you heard us talk about when you hold a thought for as little as 17 seconds, it's actually slightly less than that now, but let's not nitpick. When you hold a thought for as little as 17 seconds and you don't contradict it, that marble in your bag will go get another one just like it. And in another 17 seconds, another one just like it. And as Esther got that image in her mind of this bulging bag of marbles, she thought, I'm going to pay attention to what I'm thinking about. And then she remembered when she was young and not knowing what mercury was. It was in the thermometer. And one of her friends said, you know, if we crack that open on the sidewalk, we can get that out. And Esther said, let's do that. And so they smashed it open, and this little silver, magical, weird, you ever seen it? Liquid came out, kind of spattered, like lots of little dots. And then when they scooped it up, it became one big blob. They put it in their hand. Don't do this, it's poison stuff. But they put it in their hands, they rolled it through their fingers, they passed it around. They played with it so much that it didn't stick together anymore because it picked up so much crud off the sidewalk and such. And Esther thought, that's what these marbles are like. That's what our point of attraction is like. When you go through a day and you say, that is so lovely and that is so beautiful and I like that so much and thank you for that and wow, look at that. That bulging bag of your point of attraction just brings you another thing to say wow about and another and another and another and another. And that bag of marbles works for everything. Bad service, canceled flights, bad traffic, rude people. In other words, you put it in your bag, it's coming back to you. Now, it has to grow a little before it has real attraction power. It takes 68 seconds. And most of you are distracted so much that you don't ever make it to 68 seconds. So you think about what you want and then what you don't want, and what you want and then you don't want. I really would like to have that, but, oh, wouldn't it be nice if that happened, but. And so a lot of times, in fact, most of the times, most people are putting most of the marbles in their bag. They're offering most of their point of attraction that the law of attraction is responding to. They're doing most of it through just observing, just looking around. And you've been trained to be so objective. You weigh the pros and the cons and the pluses and the minuses, and you try to be fair and balanced about the things that you think about. But you know what? It doesn't matter how you gloss it up with a smile and with happy sounding words. What really is the indicator of the marbles that are in your bag or your point of attraction, we know you get what we're talking about. What really lets you know how you're doing is the emotion that you feel around it. When you're feeling frisky and fun, you got good marbles going on. Your point of attraction is good. And when you're in love, you got good marbles in your bag and good things happen. Have you ever been in love? Do you remember that time? And didn't everything get way good for a while until you got to know each other? Started finding fault, trying to get the other one to change. So what we want to chew with you about.
Leave it where we last left it. You know how you say that? Like, how do we stop leaving stuff places?
By leaving it a different place on purpose. In other words, let's say that you know someone and they have a trait that irritates you. And so when you think of them, you activate that. That's just what you think about. So your relationship with them reflects that because that's what's active in your vibration. But now, because you don't like the feeling of that, because you're more sensitive and more decided, when you bump up against that feeling, you say, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not enjoying this feeling and I can do something about it. So you deliberately reach for something else about that person or about something. You find the other end of the stick, so to speak, and you stay there long enough that another is connected and another and another, and now you've left it in a different place. You didn't just bump up against it, have the same old knee-jerk reaction so that it's going to repeat itself endlessly. You left it in a different place, and now it will be different to you. The world treats you the way you vibrate, the way you emit vibrations. Isn't that nice to know that you can do something deliberate about that
Yes.
without needing to do the impossible, which is getting somebody else to do something different?
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you for that clarity. And then one more question is, what is going on with Taylor Swift? Like, she is like the most connected human being on the planet. Her writing process is so inspired. She gets inspired. She wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning. She does voice notes in her phone. She writes really, really sad songs that make everybody happy. And then she has this Eras tour. I was fortunate enough. I manifested being there. I'm changed. I'm changed from being at that experience. What's going on?
It's a long story.
Okay, I'm here for it.
First, she is primarily tuned in, tapped in, turned on.
Yeah.
She discovered that when she was reaching to write. Next, she got beat up by the public enough to know she didn't like that, so she detached from that. She said, shake it off. Just shake it off. Next, and this is a really important thing.
Okay.
So this law of attraction thing that we've been talking to you about, when you get hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of people expecting positively about you, there's a calling. That's the thing that Esther realized when she got on the cruise ship stage after feeling so very uncomfortable, and realized that the expectation of those people in that audience of what they were going to receive from Abraham was a big part of what was happening. And then she realized that's what's always been happening. She realized that that's what makes this the easiest thing in the world for her, is that she's in that neutral place. You're doing the asking, you see? And so that's why we continue to explain to you that you are all that if you want to be. Your vortex, the non-physicals, those who have known you and loved you, your dearly not so departed, every idea that you've had. In other words, there is a culmination of vibrational calling that, unless you are in a state of resistance, is just calling through you your power and your clarity and your knowing and your wellness and. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. The better it gets, 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 better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets. And sometimes something going horribly wrong, or seeming so, causes it to get better yet, because your asking gets focused and pointed. You ask in a stronger way with a new vantage point, you see. Yeah.
Which is what she did when things went awry for her. But I try to make the connection between the fact that she writes these sad songs that are so beautiful, but they make people happy. Like,
soothing is solving, isn't it?
what's that?
Soothing is solving.
So she's soothing by writing.
Because she's not blaming them. She's not saying, get up, you little dummy.
Right.
She's saying, sometimes that's how life is. And sometimes it doesn't feel so good. In other words, we've been talking about that here today, haven't we? Yeah. About letting it be what it be's and not getting into that place of condemnation about it. You cannot get to a better place when you're mad at yourself about where you are. It's just impossible. You just can't get to a better place if you're blaming yourself or someone else.
So her process of writing it out and creating this work of art is a way of being okay with it and allowing herself to flow to the next?
Well, one of the things that happens, it happens with Esther in a situation like this. Performers, it happens often, but it happens for all kinds of reasons with all kinds of people. But when you discover that flow, it is intoxicating. It's like you just don't want anything else. And so she's not depriving herself of some other kind of life while she gives herself to the world in that way. That is life on steroids. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes.